Hello students, welcome to our fourth module of class 8 Geography, Resources and Development, Chapter 2, Land, Soil, Water, Natural Vegetation and Wildlife Resources. In our previous module, we have discussed about water as a resource as well as different methods of conservation of water. In this module, we will discuss about natural vegetation and wildlife resources as well as about the conservation methods. So let us begin. Natural vegetation refers to the original plant cover on the earth's surface. Existence of plants and animals is confined to the biosphere. Biosphere includes everything in limits in which living beings are found, including the non-living components. It can be compared with the web of a giant spider, in which every thread remains connected either closely or remotely with the other. In the biosphere, the organisms remain connected with each other, forming a kind of web called the web of life. The web of life is a well-organized and delicately balanced system. Here, it may be noted that the web of life is not static. It is constantly changing, yet maintaining a kind of balance or equilibrium in the nature. Plants and animals depend on one another for their survival. Relationship between plants and animals and their interaction with the abiotic, that is the physical components, form an ecosystem. Now let us talk about the distribution of natural vegetation on Earth. The Earth is covered by different types of vegetation. The growth and distribution of natural vegetation primarily depends on the temperature and moisture. Due to the difference in amount of temperature and humidity at different places, different types of vegetation are found. On this basis, natural vegetation can be classified as forest, grasslands, shrubs. Forest of a particular type can be identified on the basis of geographical location, climatic conditions and composition of plant species. Forests in India have a wide variety of plant species. Forests are classified as broadleaf forest and coniferous forest. Broadleaf forest can further be divided into evergreen, deciduous and mangrove forest. So let us talk about coniferous forest. These grow in mountain regions where the temperature is low. The size and shape of the trees are adapted to the climate of the area. The trees are tall with needle-like leaves and sloping branches which allow the snow to slip off the branches. Now let us talk about the broad-leaved forest. First comes evergreen forest. These are found in areas of high rainfall having long monsoon period. They grow and remain green throughout the year. Then comes deciduous forest. These are found in areas of moderate rainfall. Teak trees are predominant in such forest, but other trees and shrubs also grow. These trees shed their leaves in winters and summers. This forest frequently have thick undergrowth as light penetrates to the ground. Mangrove forest. These grow along the sea coast and river deltas. These plants are adapted to grow in saline as well as fresh water. The trees grow in muddy areas covered with silt. These trees have breathing roots that emerge from banks. These trees protect the coast from the impact of sea waves. Now let us talk about the grasslands. Grasslands are vast areas of land having grasses and annual plants. Grasslands usually occur in areas where the rainfall is less and soil quality and depth are poor. In such a land, large trees and shrubs cannot grow. Two distinct phases in grassland can be seen. Periods of increased growth during monsoon season and a dormant phase during the summers when the grasses dry. Now let us talk about shrubs. Shrubs are found in very hot and very cold areas. Let us talk about the shrubs that are found in the hot areas, that is the desert vegetation. Dry and hot deserts receive very less rainfall. Shrubs in deserts have deep roots, thick barks and the thorny and waxy leaf surface to reduce the loss of moisture by transpiration. Desert vegetation includes cacti, thorny bushes, date palm, etc. Now let us talk about the tundra vegetation. Tundra vegetation is found mainly in the northern cold region where the temperature remains very low throughout the year. This region remains covered with snow throughout the year, but during short summers when the snow melts, lichens, mosses and small grass appear in this region. No tall trees are found here. The vegetation in this region is very scanty as the ground remains frozen for a long period. Now let us talk about wildlife. Wildlife refers to all plants, animals, birds and organisms which live in their natural habitat. Wildlife forms an important part of the ecosystem. We get many products from animals. Wild animals are used as a source of gene bank for breeding programs in animal rearing and pisciculture. Insects like bees provide us honey and help in pollination of flowers. Lac insects provide us lac, which is used to manufacture wax. Wildlife helps to maintain the balance of nature. Each species forms an important part of a food web and also plays an important role as decomposers. With industrialization, urbanization and expanding agricultural activities, additional land is required. This land is obtained by clearing forest. It must be remembered that a forest can be destructed in a few days, but it takes years to grow a forest. Forests grow very slowly. If the trees are felled beyond a certain limit, they cannot be regenerated. Deforestation also affects the wildlife. In the past decade, many animal species have become endangered and some are on the verge of extinction. Besides human act, natural factors such as tsunami, forest fires, also cause loss of forest and wildlife. Thus, conservation of forest and wildlife has become a global issue. For humans to survive, we must actively contribute to save these important natural resources. Now let us discuss about the different methods of conservation of forest and wildlife. Creating national parks, wildlife sanctuaries and biosphere reserve. They should be created to protect plants and animals. In these protected areas, plants and animals occupy their natural habitat. In these areas, human activities such as hunting, fishing, etc. is prohibited. Another way of conserving our forest and wildlife is through awareness programs. Van Mahotsav, awareness programs like celebration of Van Mahotsav, Wildlife Week, etc. should be encouraged. Awareness programs should also be conducted about the endangered wildlife species and how citizens can help protect them. Enactment of laws. Laws have been framed against poaching. Using of certain animal product has been banned. Strict penalties should be applied under laws such as the Wildlife Protection Act and the Forest Act. Spatial conservation programs and organizations. Project Tiger was aimed at protecting Bengal tigers from extinction, combat poaching and preserve their habitat. Special organizations like the Society of Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, that is SPCA, the World Wildlife Fund and the Prevention of Extreme Treatment to Animals, that is PETA, have been established. An international convention, that is Convention of International Trade in Endangered Species, that is CITES, has been established to ensure that plant and animal are not threatened due to international trade of specimens. So, it is the prime duty of every citizen to conserve plants and animals for the survival of the present as well as the future generation. So, this concludes our chapter, that is land, soil, water, natural vegetation and wildlife resources. So let us summarize what you have learned today. Natural vegetation and wildlife exist only in the biosphere. Forest, grasslands, scrubs and tundra are the major types of vegetation of the world. To protect our natural vegetation and wildlife, national parks, wildlife sanctuaries and biosphere reserves are made. Let us see what you have grasped today. Here are some questions for you. Your question number 1 is, forests where trees set their leaves once at a particular time of the year are known as, and the options are A. Evergreen forest, B. Deciduous forest, C. Mangrove forest or D. Tundra vegetation. And the correct answer is B. Deciduous forest. The second question is, Kaziranga National Park is situated in? And the options are A. Assam, B. West Bengal, C. Uttar Pradesh, or D. Meghalaya. And the correct answer is A. Assam. Your third question is, tundra vegetation comprises of dash and dash, and the options are A. Mosses and lichen, B. Cactus and rosewood, C. Sal and sesame, or D. Algae and fungi. And the correct answer is A. Mosses and lichens. It's practice time now, and here are some questions for you. Your question number 1 is, name the 2 factors which affect the growth and distribution of natural vegetation. Your second question is, distinguish between evergreen forest and deciduous forest. The third question is, write down some measures to conserve natural vegetation and wildlife. In our next module, we will discuss about mineral and power resources. Till then, take care of yourself, stay home, stay safe. Thank you.